on digital radio, on the app, on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The Donut Bag presented by The Sportscast.
The Donut Bag, hosted by Joey Bag of Donuts. And here's your host, Joey Bag of Donuts.
So the Penguins started off strong, which shocked all of us. Kind of leveled off, but they're still doing well, and they're fourth in the Metro as of this minute. We'll see. We'll see how the Dallas game goes. But how is this happening? How are they still this good, and can they keep it up?
Surprisingly good goaltending, which they did not get last year. So much so to the point where I'm sure you've read the rumors are flying that the Oilers might want to trade for Tristan Jarry, which didn't seem possible last year when he got sent to Wilkes-Barre. But now a team that is theoretically a Stanley Cup contender may want to trade for him. I didn't see that coming, and I also didn't see Evgeny Malkin being tied with Sidney Crosby with the same number of points at this point in the season. And I didn't see Sidney Crosby being in the top 5 in the NHL in goals either. I thought he'd have a good season like he always does, but I don't know that I saw top 5 in goals. So, I mean, you combine all those things with the, the pleasant emergence of Ben Kindle and, some really good off-season acquisitions and Erik Karlsson playing like Erik Karlsson used to play, and you combine all those things together and you have a playoff team all of a sudden.
Let's start with the goaltenders. Jarry being good. I don't think I mean, it's a shock that he's even up here really. Mm-hmm. It's crazy what's gone into him. Is it him, or is it that the Penguins are actually playing actual defense in front of him?
I think it's him, because the Penguins have actually played defense in front of him at certain points over the last 9 seasons. He seems to have a different level of confidence about him this season, or not even the whole season, just more recently. You see him, in that game against Philadelphia on Monday, he makes a save and then he punches the guy with his blocker. He's like, get out of my crease. He slashed his buddy Jake Gensel the other day because he was standing in his crease. Little things like that. He's not like back in his net. He's aggressive. He's out on top of the crease on when he should be. And I think all of that combined is there. It's like just a different level of confidence. I will say this though, past precedent suggests this won't last, because we've seen him as an all-star. We've seen him have long stretches of good games. I do think he, like I just said, he has another level of confidence about him that we haven't seen before, but all I have to go on is his history, and his history suggests, like, when it comes to be crunch time, playoff time, even like the stretch run to get into the playoffs, his level of play drops off. Maybe that'll be different this year. Maybe he won't be here. Maybe he'll be traded, but that's all we know right now.
Hello?
Yep.
Okay. I got kicked out of my own podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've heard things like, well, he's finally matured. I mean, the guy's like 30. I think it's about
yeah. I mean,
sure. He held no ill will toward the Penguins for everything that's happened. Okay, but I like when he's described, he's like former All-Star Tristan Jarry is like, okay, yeah, he made the All-Star team, but usually in those years after the All-Star game, he kind of falls apart.
Yes.
Should they try to actually trade him? Or, I mean, the goaltender situation as of right now is actually not that great. It seems like Shelovs is just fallen off, and Morishov might not be ready, and I don't even know what the heck's going on with Bloomquist.
Yeah.
And they are trying for a playoff spot now, so should they keep him?
I still say if the offer comes along to trade him, because one, it's a pretty significant salary cap hit. Two, Murashov is your goaltender of the future. Jarry is not the goaltender of the future. The only caveat is you're right that they are in a playoff race, which I know it sounds funny to say in December, but they're in a playoff position and they're trying to keep that playoff position. What happens if you trade Jarry? Does Miroshov all of a sudden become your number one goaltender? He hasn't played in 3 weeks. Shelovs has been pulled in 2 of the last 3 games he played, I think. And like you said, Bloomquist, who knows what's going on with him down in Wilkes. It's a tough spot to be in, but an unexpected spot to be in if you're Kyle Dubas is the GM, because all indications at the beginning of this season were this is not a playoff team, and boy, what are you going to do with that Jarry contract? He's untradeable. Now all of a sudden he looks like he's very tradable. So what do you do? I think if the offer comes along, you still trade him because he's not your goaltender of the future. And honestly, what's happening this season is a bonus in my opinion. Nobody expected this team to be in a playoff race, and hey, maybe it'll be good experience to get Miroshov in there and have a playoff run early in his career.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you have a chance to get out of that contract, get the hell out of it. I mean, this is something they've been dreaming about for a long time, to get away from that contract. So yeah, and you strike while the iron is hot. It's like I mean, it's almost every single year he fades in the second half. Like,
yep,
fine, just trade him while he's hot. Yeah, I'm so over him. It's just one of those things. It's like maybe this time it'll be different. No, we've seen this for like 10 years now. I mean, he's come before. He was the man before Matt Murray, and he's outlived him, and still Matt Murray is long gone, and Matt Murray, I don't even know if he's in the league anymore, and
he's with Seattle.
Okay, and Jarry is still with the team. It's just Fleury was was in the mix too many years ago, and it's just crazy. So Morishov was here briefly. Did that just not go well? Is he just not ready yet?
I mean, he definitely showed flashes of being like an NHL ready goalie, but the more games he got, or the more time he got, I should say, he was a little bit exposed. I mean, I still think he's going to be a great NHL goalie, and I think Shelovs is an NHL goalie as well. He's just had a rough go of it the last couple of times he's been out. But again, that question remains, like, do you want those two to be your goaltending tandem going down the stretch? And I feel like Miroshov, though, he's one of those guys, the more he plays, the better he'll be. I don't think that he's the type of guy who is going to do well in a situation where he's playing every other game or something like that. I mean, he's a young guy, but when you look at it, he's been the guy everywhere he's ever played. And it's a little bit of a weird situation for somebody like that to come up and, sit out every 2 out of every 3 games. So I don't have any doubt that if they did trade Jarry and then all of a sudden he had to be the number one guy up here, that he wouldn't, he'd be fine. I think that he just needs to play more to be better. Yeah.
Just get him right. Just stay down there, do your thing, and then when you're ready, you're ready. But yeah, there's no need to rush him up here, like you said, play him once every 2 or 3 games or whatever. That's just not gonna work.
Right.
Yeah, another surprising thing is Sidney Crosby, 18 goals, 11 assists, near the lead in goals, I believe. What is going on here? Like, is he just a freak? I mean, we already know this, that he's been doing this for 21 years, but still, at his age, to be doing like a near. I mean, there's people talking about him for MVP. Like, how is this happening?
He is. He's just a freak of nature. No matter how old he gets, he just looks like he's frozen in time. I mean, he doesn't look any different today than he did 10 years ago when he was 28. I mean, and the expectations are no lower today than when they were when he was 28. It's just something that we should just sit back and kind of enjoy as sports fans and hockey fans, and because you're really never going to see anything like this. I mean, he's the Tom Brady of hockey. He really is.
He really is. And
he shows no signs of slowing down. And I think he's been a little bit rejuvenated by the young guys on this team, especially Ben Kindle.
I think that has a lot to do with it. When we started, in the summer, we heard Crosby's agent saying things like, well, maybe Crosby should be traded. I don't know. I mean, and we were thinking, well, poor Crosby, he's going to be stuck on this loser team that's never going to win. And he's going to waste the rest of his career and stuff. Well, now they're winning, and, they brought the kids up, and it's going well. So yeah, you could see when you see that, okay, I mean, maybe this isn't the year, but you could see the future is brighter. It's like, okay, that gives you more motivation to stick around and to do well and be part of the next generation. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think that those young kids have rejuvenated Erik Karlsson and Evgeny Malkin too. Malkin just looks like he has that extra jump in his step. I know he's sitting out the Dallas game with an injury. It just seems like it's a day-to-day injury, but him and Crosby have the same amount of points. I know Crosby has way more goals, but they have the same amount of points. I think they're somewhere around like 20th in the league. I know there's a bunch of guys tied with points, but somewhere around 20th in the league in total points. That's pretty good for a guy who's 39 and another guy who's 38.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Let's talk about the kids. Basically, they were all put on one line. Rutger McGroarty, Ben Kindle, Ville Koivunen, all put on one line. It seemed like Kindle was not fading, but he was struggling a little bit before this whole kid line happened. Is this just... will this line stay? Because it sounds like a great idea, just to put all the kids together and let them do their thing together.
Every time I saw that line out there against Tampa Bay, it seemed like they were doing something like noticeable. And I was shocked when Dan Muse put them out there with, I think it was like 2 minutes left in a 1-goal game against Tampa Bay the other night. I like it because that line has like such jump, all those young guys on it. Kindle is obviously so fast and fearless, and he looks like he's been in the league for 3 or 4 years already. He's just a great player. And McGroarty was doing really well in Wilkes-Barre when they brought him up, and he's been noticeable in the short sample size that he's been up here. And Koivunen finally scored his first goal the other day. I would love to see that line stick together, and I like Dan Muse putting them out there in key situations. Now, I don't know if I'd feel the same way if it was a playoff game and a 1-goal game and that line was out there. But then again, that's probably 6 months from now, or 5 months. But I like that line together. I like the energy, and let them learn together and see what happens.
Yeah, because like when Kendall was with Crosby, it seemed like, obviously if you're playing with a Sidney Crosby, you're gonna change your game or whatever. You're just you're gonna try to maybe feed him or something like that, or just change the things you're doing to work well with him. And now it just seems like he's just trying to just do well and not have to worry about stuff like that.
Yeah, though I agree with you when he was playing on Crosby's line, but when I watch the power play, it's different. Kendall has this confidence when he's out there on the power play. Like anybody would be intimidated. There's 4 future Hall of Fame players out there with you, and he's essentially running the power play. They're essentially running the power play through him, and he doesn't look at all phased. He looks completely confident. But I do agree when he was playing with Crosby, it seemed like he was deferring to him a lot. He is a center, and he needs to learn to play that position, not be playing on a wing with Crosby. So I like that line. We'll see if that line sticks together, because as well as I do in hockey, lines change, not even game by game, but literally shift by shift. But we'll see if that line sticks together, because I really, really liked what I saw the other night.
Yeah, I mean, and Kendall is amazing, but McGroarty is he's not their greatest prospect, but he seems to be a very high prospect, and it seems like he has high potential.
He does. Can we get that guy a new number, though? Every time I see that guy number 2 playing offense, I'm like, why is the defenseman up in the play?
Yeah.
It's weird seeing a forward with a number 2, but I digress. I mean, he was the top prospect of the Jets, and it just didn't work out there. It was a good hockey trade. The Penguins and the Jets that worked out there. But he has a lot of potential. I think, he's finally healthy now, and he's another guy. I was talking about Miroshov earlier. You got to let him play like regular minutes and just see what he can do up here. It got to play 12 to 15 minutes a night and just see what he could do. He has a little bit of a rough edge to him. I don't know if that's the right word, but he plays a little bit of a physical game. And I just want to see that line continue to play together. Like I said, I'd like to see that line get like 12 to 15 minutes a night, and let's just see what they could do. But again, going back to what I said about the lines always changing, I'd like to see them consistently play together for like a sample size of like 10 games, and let's see what that looks like.
Yeah. Just so here's who has worn number 2 for the Penguins. Chad Ruedel, Matt Niskanen, Hal Gill, and my favorite, Jim Peck from the 90s.
Yep.
Defenseman. So yeah, change your dang number, dude.
Yeah. Going even further back, Chris Tamer, I think, was number 2.
You're correct. Actually, Chris Tamer was was right after Jim Peck. So yeah. But, Joseph Melikar, and Nate Gennin, whoever the heck he was, and Adam Clendening.
All defensemen, though.
All defensemen, dude. I mean, it's weird when you watch football, because they used to have like defined things like offensive linemen would wear these numbers and wide receivers would wear. Now everybody wears all kinds of crazy numbers. So yeah, we don't need that in hockey either.
Yeah. It just looks really weird. But there's some weird goalie numbers out there too right now. But that's another topic for another day.
Another really surprising thing is that the entire defensive core is just really solid. Parker Wotherspoon is, I mean, not only is he good, but he's making Carlson good. Shea's playing. Even Ryan Graves is playing well. What's going on with this defensive core?
They've bought into a system, and they're playing the system. And several players have mentioned it now, where they're not being pigeonholed into doing something that they're not capable of doing. And Ryan Graves is no longer being asked to carry the puck up the ice and try to generate offense. He's just playing as the 6th defenseman. he's out there to not let the other team score against him. That's his job. And he looks great doing it. And again, like you just said, chalk that up as something I did not see coming. Yeah, they've just bought into the system. They're playing the system. And, when they picked up Wotherspoon in the summer, I thought, oh, okay, I've heard of this guy. What's he going to be, the third, fourth guy? I never imagined that he was going to be the top pair defensive, like shutdown defenseman with Erik Karlsson. Didn't see that coming. And Karlsson is, I'm not going to say he's playing at the Norris Trophy level he was when he was with the Sharks or the Senators, but he's having a great season. And he still does make a dumb pass every now and then, or, a dumb decision every now and then. But for the most part, he's been really solid defensively. And he's, again, speaking of confidence, he looks much more confident in his shot from the point, and he's making smarter passes, and he's really been effective on the power play as well.
I hope this isn't just because the Olympics are coming and he wants to just play well in front of the Swedish national team so that he'll have a prominent role there. I hope this continues after the Olympics.
Yeah, it's the same thing that we were just talking about with Jarry. Like, is this gonna, if he's still here, is it gonna be the same level of play after the Olympic break, after the All-Star break, whatever you want to call it? I hope so. But it's funny, talking about Karlsson, everybody wanted to trade him at the beginning of the season too, but now I don't know if you can afford to move him, because there's nobody coming in that's going to take his spot, like maybe Miroshov could with Jarry. There's no guy that's coming in to eat up 25 minutes a night on defense on the top line,
right? Top
pairing,
right? Is Letang okay? Is he fading, or is he just, I don't know, is he struggling?
He has nights where he looks like the old Chris Letang, and then he has nights where he looks like he's struggling a little bit. I think less is more with him. I think just limiting his time, but not a lot, maybe 2-3 minutes a night, maybe, by not playing on that top power play unit, that will help him over the course of the season. That there are minutes that he's not out there. I know power play minutes aren't like necessarily hard minutes, but it adds up over the course of the season. I just think that, he's 38 years old, and, playing 20 minutes, 25 minutes a night, it takes a toll on you at any age, especially 38. I do still think that he's a top tier defenseman. I just think that, he needs to have, I don't want to say maintenance day. Like, I'm not suggesting to scratch him or anything, but, if there's an opportunity for him to not go out there for a shift, like I said, the power play or, whatever that might be, just, if there's opportunities here and there, like maybe they're losing a game 5-0, or they're winning a game 5-0. Hey, maybe let some of those other guys to eat up some of those minutes, just to, give him some maintenance.
What do they call it? Load management.
Yep.
Yeah. Just just take it easy. Hey, I'm old. When you get old, you want to occasionally take a nap or whatever, right? It's understandable. One thing, has Karlsson made any I don't know, kind of, I've heard he's made some kind of passive aggressive comments toward Mike Sullivan. Yeah. It seems like he's much preferring to play under Muse than Mike Sullivan.
Yeah, that's I was referring to a little bit earlier. It's not just him. Brian Graves, no, he didn't call him out by name, but he just basically was saying the same thing that Karlsson was saying, like, hey, this system is more suited towards us because we're not being pigeonholed into doing something that we're not capable of doing. Now, Karlsson is very capable of generating offense and leading the rush, on power plays and things like that. But yeah, they're saying it without saying it, basically. Hey, the things that Coach Sullivan was telling us to do, they weren't working. This system is much more suited to the strengths of certain players, and you could see it. I mean, Ryan Graves looked like his NHL career was over, even in training camp this year. And now, I mean, he's just a solid fifth, sixth defenseman out there. He's just going out, doing his job. He even scored a goal. I don't think he had a point until game 70 last season.
I mean, is Muse just making that much of a difference? It sure seems like it. It seems like he's changed between Muse and Dubas, the acquisitions that he made this offseason. It seems like it's just all working.
Yeah, it's definitely a combination of things. I think it's the right system. It's a different voice. There's an infuse of the younger players and better goaltending, and certainly the head coach is helping. I think that he has some different ideas. He's a young guy with some maybe different ideas. And, like we talked about a couple of times already here, he's not making every guy on the team play the same style. He's letting guys, play a role that they are suited for rather than, hey, you got to play this way because this is the style that we're playing.
Exactly. And looks like Sullivan isn't doing that great with the Rangers so far. So, yeah, that worked out. I always say that Mike Sullivan and Mike Tomlin needed to go a long time ago. Just to have a different perspective, a fresh face looking at things, not the same thing. It just seemed like it wasn't working for Sullivan for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he probably should have gone probably 2 seasons ago. Yeah. But hey, when you win 2 cups, you get that leeway and that leash, and it's going to actually be interesting because when it comes down at the end of the season, it could be the Penguins and Rangers fighting for that 7-8 seed, and that would be quite ironic if the Penguins were to keep Mike Sullivan out of the playoffs.
Yeah, that would be a bad look. I don't think the Rangers were expecting to be that bad, so that would not be good for him. Kyle Dubas is. Can anybody be looking any better right now? My goodness. It seems like every move he made this offseason has just been a home run. I mean, Kindle was a draft pick this year.
Yeah.
Draft picks aren't supposed to be good immediately. This is crazy. Brazeau, Mantha, Wotherspoon. It's just, I don't know. It's us all working right now, and he just looks incredible. Like I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I don't know if there's a question there. It's just he just looks great.
I mean, even like Brazeau. I mean, the guy's a career 3rd, 4th line player, and he comes here, and I'm looking like, who is this guy? Like, I've heard of his name before,
right.
All of a sudden we're like really looking forward to him getting back in the lineup to see if he could continue what he was doing before he got hurt. It's going to be really interesting to see if they continue to play the way that they have been playing. They got a bunch of home games coming up, a bunch of Western Conference teams coming in. I think they got San Jose and Utah and Edmonton coming in, all teams that are, very winnable games. I mean, anybody can lose on any given night, but look at the Penguins. They're competing with some of the top teams in the league, and then they're also losing to teams they probably shouldn't. So, and I think that's going to be the way that this season goes. It's going to be a lot of up and down, but luckily for them, so far it's been more up than down. But they hopefully are learning from the mistakes that they have made in the games that they've lost, especially those games that they blew, multiple goal leads, and hopefully they're learning from that, and they won't see any more of that the rest of the season.
So Brazeau is back tonight. Is Raquel coming back soon?
He's been skating, so I'm thinking that he'll be back relatively soon.
That'll be huge. That'll be huge having because I mean who's with Crosby now? Novak?
Yeah.
It's a big upgrade from Novak to Ricardo Cal.
Yeah, I want to see what this team looks like when everybody's healthy. And I know that's a big ask because it's the NHL and we're getting to the almost halfway point, not quite halfway, but guys get injured every night, but it would be interesting to see what this team looks like with everybody healthy because they're treading water without Raquel, without Brazeau. And, even Noah Chari's been out a long time. I know he's on the fourth line, but he's a key part of the penalty kill. And now I think he's back in the lineup tonight in Dallas as well. It'll be interesting to see what this team looks like with everybody healthy, and hopefully they get a large sample size of that before the trade deadline, just to see where they're at and are we selling or are we getting another piece? So hopefully that all goes well and they get a big enough sample size to see what this healthy team looks like.
That would be insane. That would be so funny if they're buyers at the trade. Then I mean, they've been buyers for the last 20 years, but still, on when they're expected to to actually be adding to the team, that would be crazy. My apologies to Novak. He's actually scored the go ahead goal right now. They're leading 2-1 after 2 periods. So sorry, Tommy Novak. You're he's under the lineup tonight, but Boko Imana seems to be. I mean, he doesn't play a lot, but he does seem to have another role that hasn't been around in years, and that's an enforcer.
Yeah. He actually did go down right before the game because they activated Brazeau and Achari. But boy, do the guys seem to skate a little taller when he's out there. I personally would like to see him up here with the big club. He could be a healthy scratch on a lot of nights. There's very little like fighting that happens in the league anymore, but he could play a little bit. He is not the George Laraque type out there. He could play a little bit. I mean, he's not out there penalty killing like I understand Noah Chari. He plays a role out there. He's a penalty killer. Boko, he's probably only going to play 8-9 minutes a game. But you could tell the guys love when he's in the lineup and love when he's out there. They just seem to, like I said, skate a little bit taller, feel a little bit more protected out there. Even if he is going to be a healthy scratch, every other game or whatever, I'd like to see him stick up here with the big club.
Do you blame him? I mean, that's like if you have to go down a dark alley in the middle of the night in downtown or something like that. It's like, would you want to go alone or would you want to go with a big enforcer next to you that would protect you? Like, yeah, I would skate a little bit taller too. He played in the Flyers game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, the Flyers thrive on being goons and stuff. And you after he beat the crap out of someone, they shut the hell up. And I think he took on. What against the Lightning? He took on like some giant or something like that. So.
Yeah, he fought their enforcer, the guy who has the most fighting majors in the league, and he took him down. And he knows how to fight, and I believe his nickname is the Bokomotive. I might be if that's not his nickname, I would like to patent that, please. Yeah, but I mean, he just brings a different element that the Penguins really don't have. I mean, on the back end, they have Clifton and Dumba who play that physical style, but they don't really have a physical forward like that on the roster. And I just think, yeah, sure, Achari, he brings the penalty killing aspect, and he's very good at it. But Boko Imama brings that physical aspect, and I don't think he's a liability. Now, do I want him playing 20 minutes a night? No. But, you could throw him out there 10 minutes a night and not be worried, that he's going to do something dumb. And he doesn't take dumb penalties either. Like, you see a lot of times enforcers go out there and they'll cross-check someone or they'll punch somebody in the face or whatever. He knows, if you watch him, he understands the situation of the game. And the other night in Tampa, there was like a scrum and their line was out there. And I think it was actually a delayed penalty call. And he could have very easily got in there and said, oh, I'm going to punch this guy in the face, or, I'm going to, start a fight. But he understood the situation and he was just like, hey, I'm not going to do anything stupid here.
Who was the guy? I mean, under Sullivan, there hardly was any enforcers like that at all. But there was some guy that they did have. I forget who it was. It was a few years ago. And when he was out there, when he would have to play, he would take just smash somebody into boards and take a really dumb penalty or something like that. I forget his name, but
yeah, I'm trying to think of who. They had different guys here throughout the years. They had Reeves.
I'll bet it was Reeves. Yeah.
Yeah. He's still playing. He's with San Jose now.
Yeah. That was just like Sullivan absolutely hated having anybody like that. And
yeah,
you need something, because it's just so frustrating when, especially in the playoffs, when Crosby's getting like manhandled and the referees won't call anything. And it's just over and over again. And it's just so frustrating. And now, to Sullivan's credit, he had them, when he first started coaching the Penguins, he did have them say, okay, if they're smacking you around or whatever, just walk away. Don't, because before Crosby would get under Crosby's skin. And so, I mean, it's good that they walked away, but still he was just getting beat up like crazy and nothing was happening. Like, you need someone to fight back.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like having that type of player in the lineup. And I don't like the stage fights. Like, yeah, it was great.
No,
he fought the enforcer the other night, and he, now he's the heavyweight because he beat him. I don't necessarily like that type of stuff, but I do just like having a guy like that in the lineup. Like, if you take a liberty with our player, we're going to take a liberty with your player. So, or my guy's going to go out and run one of your guys through the boards, because the guys, when he's out there, guys on the other team definitely have their head on a swivel. They're looking around.
Oh yeah.
And that can't be said for the other guys on the fourth line. Nothing against them. That's just not their game. But when he's in the lineup, they're definitely looking around like, oh, I better get rid of this puck quick because I'm going to get run through the boards otherwise. Right.
Wow. Just exciting times. I know the season is only 3 months old, but so far, this is way more exciting of a season than I thought it would be. It's awesome.
Been more exciting in the first 3 months of this season than we saw in 82 games last season.
Yeah, it's awesome. So where can people find you, follow you, and get more of your work?
You can go to vincecom.com. I try to post things there regularly, and I'm always posting on Twitter when the Penguins are playing and Steelers and anything else happening in Pittsburgh. I'm posting stuff on Twitter.
What did you post that the DVE morning show just reposted? Was it a manger scene or something like that?
Yeah, our nativity scene is missing a few pieces, so we have to improvise every year. And so I always our three wise men are Crosby, Malkin, and Letang. They each are carrying their trophies that they've won throughout their career, so they're presenting gifts of silver.
That's way better than frankincense and myrrh.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't have any of the animals, so we have the pirate parrot standing in. We also have somehow we ended up with a Joe Camel cigarette promotion that we had back in the day, and now that sits out. And I change it up every year. One year we had Mike Lang narrating the birth of Jesus. And then, of course, baby Jesus sits inside the miniature Heinz Field that I have.
Yeah.
Fits perfectly as a manger. But they were on the DVE morning show. They were saying somebody should do a Pittsburgh manger scene, and I was like, "Oh, I got to send them a picture."
Yeah, you already have one.
Yeah. So people get a kick out of that every year. I've been doing that for almost 20 years, and I switch it up every year. But people get a kick out of it, so I make sure I post that every year.
I don't do something that wild, but I do have a couple wrestling action figures that I have in the manger scene, and I have everybody looking at the animals, and I have baby Jesus off to the side, but I have everybody like very intent, right, looking at a lamb and whatever, and yeah, it's like Baby Jesus is just
Yeah.
doing his nice thing. Baby Jesus is with the Ultimate Warrior and Coco Beware. So
That's
he's
funny.
being taken care of.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, just so people don't accuse me of being sacrilegious, we do have an actual manger set also.
Okay. Hey, thanks so much for coming on, and have a good holidays.
All right, you too. Thanks.
I'll see you.